from CNBC. States sue Trump administration to keep SNAP benefits during government shutdown. A group of states sued the Trump admin in an effort to maintain funding. The U.S. Agricultural Department has suspended SNAP benefits as of November 4th, the lawsuit noted. The suit was filed 4 days after the Trump admin said it would not use $6 billion in congressionally appropriated emergency funding to maintain benefits during the shutdown for SNAP, which provides food stamps to more than 40 million people. So we have that from NPR. Okay. This is why I hate the corporate press. So this article earlier today was titled, Trump says emergency funds will not be used for SNAP benefits. But because the corporate press has no journalistic ethics, they do what's called stealth editing, where I refreshed the article and they rewrote it. So bravo, NPR, on being unethical in journalism. But there we go. So the question, I suppose, is what authority would any court have to make the Trump administration release money for SNAP? Is that possible?
They do have standing. The states have the standing to sue. Now, whether the courts will go along with it, I don't know.
Is remedy possible?
Yeah. States have sued the federal government for SNAP before. It's just this is different because this is during a shutdown, and this is a choice by the federal government to say, all right, while we're shut down, we're not giving you the money. And aside from the political unpopularity of it, I think the states can sue. I just don't know which way the courts are going to go on it.
I recognize standing makes a lot of sense, right? Do the states have a right to sue over this? It seems the answer is yes. The question is, would a judge have the authority to make a political move like that?
Oh, yeah. But why not? I mean, the courts do have oversight over it. I mean, you're talking about technical rules of funding and states' rights and federalism and all these things that come into play. But that's why it's tough, because I'm not aware of this happening ever before in a shutdown where the administration says that we're not going to release the funds for food. You would think if anything is emergency funding, it would be this. But again, with that said, there's no guarantee which way it would go. I mean, the Supreme Court has given a lot of deference to executive power. So I could see the Supreme Court siding with the president on this.
Is it, how long do you think, I don't know if you would know, but how long do you think a court case would take for something like this, right? Because the reality is we have 3 days.
What we found is generally the lower courts, the district courts, will be more favorable to the plaintiffs against the White House. But then as you get higher up towards the Supreme Court, they have a greater sense of deference towards executive authority. We saw this with the National Guard in the streets, that even the once liberal Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals in California has been ruling for the president and deferring to his authority. So I think initially you'll see a court perhaps saying, no, you got to release it, and then it'll get stayed on appeal by the appellate court,
right,
and eventually get up to the U.S. Supreme Court. And by the end, this shutdown should be over, and then this thing will be moot.
So I guess my questions, it's just, it looks like they're going to file. There may be an emergency injunction of some sort. Trump's going to file for appeal. And in the meantime, he's not going to move these funds. And there's no way it's happening in 3 days.
Agree.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you and I are in agreement on this. Question is, where does this play politically? Is this cause people to start getting the pitchforks out and saying, hey, let's fix this problem? I mean, both sides are getting what they want out of this shutdown.
Yeah.
And I just think I would hope that government is not as dysfunctional as it appears to be, that they can actually open the doors and turn on the lights again?
I think that the political divisions in this country are so pronounced that it doesn't matter what either side wants from either side. No, go ahead. I've been talking too much.
No, I just think that what we can all agree on is we have the liberty to drink Coca-Cola. Not paid to say this whatsoever, but these brave Democrat states are standing up for our rights to drink Coca-Cola, and I think it's wonderful.
Like on SNAP benefits.
Yeah, because I mean, I've been under good authority that it's a huge limit on our liberty if they cut off our access to Coca-Cola with government money.
Man, I think they should. But I saw a clip earlier of Mike Johnson, and I'm paraphrasing because I don't remember exactly what he said, but it was something to the effect of, "We don't want anything. There's nothing that we want from Democrats. We've proposed this to them. They can vote yes, so there's no reason to negotiate." And that right away, I'm like, well, there is. Democrats want something. Mike Johnson's effectively saying, we're happy with the government shutdown. So why would we bother doing any deals? Like, it's a win-win for them.
Yeah.
And he doesn't have to seat the member of Congress from Arizona who would then vote to release the Epstein fund.
Yeah, I mean, that's how government shutdowns have always worked, is the party demanding something is always really blamed for it. I mean, going back to the previous shutdown. I mean, the contest is over border wall funding, et cetera, and people blame the Republican Party. But this is what's so fascinating is this is unprecedented, where the media is still siding with the Democrats, even in spite of the fact that they're the ones demanding something in this instance.
Yeah, why do you think that is, that the public seems to be supporting for the first time the party out of power when it comes to the shutdown? Is it because of the healthcare issue that's an issue that resonates?
I don't know if that's true though.
As far as the polling?
Yeah, I mean, polling's impossible right now, right? I mean, it's wild swings. You know, I'm looking at Real Clear Politics average. I try to use aggregates because individual polls are going to have their bias or whatever there, but it's nuts. I mean, one poll's like Trump +8, and then a day later, another poll's Trump -8.
Yeah.
So I don't know which one's right and which one's wrong.
You go to like Real Clear Politics and they show all the different polls, and they're all over the place. There's like a 20-point spread between the polling. It's like how I can't determine, I can't parse the information.
And they have the ratings of certain polls, like the letter grades for the certain polls. Why even give the F polls or the bad polls? Why show them?
Yeah,
like
literally.
RMG 2 weeks ago had Trump at up 4. And then for the same time period, relatively the same time period, he was -14 with Quinnipiac.
Well, this
16 to 20 and 15 to 22.
That's his approval rating. What about who's winning the shutdown? Like who's
right? I'm just my point was like, this is the easiest way to look at an aggregate because they poll so often that polls are effectively meaningless for the most part. I used to do segments all the time on my morning show where I'm like, look at the poll's current trend and here's what people are thinking. But now I've stopped because it's nuts. -14, -4 in the same time period is meaningless. So when I look at one poll from, say, it's like Gallup or something, or Quinnipiac being a better example for more current polling, I can't believe if it's like, Democrats are winning this one. I'm like, are they?
Well, I also think like it's really difficult to poll on who's to blame for the shutdown because this story is like, I think a lot of people don't even realize the government's shut down. I mean, there's the news cycle's been so insane that I don't even think the press has much appetite to like cover this in depth. I mean, like when NPR reports on it on their daily podcast, they're just like, oh yeah, okay, we have to talk about this, I guess, because it seems important. But like, I think the American people are just the news cycle's been so cooked that there's just not even really that much interest in the drama over the shutdown. So it's really hard to determine polling. It's really determined to gauge interest.
Here's Quinnipiac from a week ago. Who is more responsible for the government shutdown? Voters blame Republicans slightly more than Democrats. They say 45% of registered voters think Republicans in Congress are more responsible for the government shutdown, while 39% think Democrats in Congress are more responsible and 11% volunteer. They think both parties are equally responsible. However, at the same time, Quinnipiac had Trump at -14 for a similar time period. I don't believe Trump is at -14 in the polls. I don't necessarily believe that he's at +4 either. I certainly know a lot of people don't like Trump, but -14 is very heavy. In aggregate, he's at 44.9 approval to 51.9 disapproval. -7 seems relatively plausible, but Quinnipiac seems to be heavily biased. So this is why it's hard to track. I've read a handful of the polls showing that Democrats are largely winning this, but the reason why I find it hard to believe is that Republicans would not keep up a fight that risked their success in the midterms. So there's a few ways to look at it. They don't think this will matter in the midterms because a year is an eternity in politics. They don't care about political blowback because the rewards they're getting from it are massive and they'd rather the political victories, which I don't think so because I think the blowback from loss of snap is going to hurt them politically. They must genuinely believe they're winning politically, that the perception is beneficial to them, and Democrats must agree. So what I think is the polls are so divergent. Republicans are probably going, guys, we're winning. And Democrats are going, guys, we're winning.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I think like both parties are galvanizing their bases right now as well. And that's primarily what's driving like both sides not really interested in negotiating here.
I think that's right. I think the Republicans are taking the long game, thinking they can just wait out the Democrats, that people will start to really feel the pain and start to blame the Democrats. So we'll see. But also, if the Republicans thought they were looking good going into the midterms, they wouldn't be trying so hard to gerrymander some of these districts. I do think they see the trends, and as far as history, the historical trends, that the party out of power generally picks up seats in the House, and they want to stem that. But we'll see. We're in uncharted territory here, and I hope they can open it up. But the longer this goes, will the trends change? Will their Democrats start getting blamed for it? I don't know. People are worried that their health care premiums are going to double if this clean bill, goes through.
I kind of just think we're well beyond the political argument phase of what's going on in this country politically. Well, I mean, you look at the celebrations for Charlie Kirk's assassination.
Yeah.
Obviously, we can say, you know, like the Clintons, Obama, high-level Democrats and liberals said this is wrong and this is bad, and our heart goes out. And you can see that trend actually in the polls on political violence, where the older generations are averse and say, no, we can't do this. The younger generations are like ready and waiting, locked and loaded. So when you see these younger liberals and leftists coming out on social media, dancing, celebrating, mocking, I mean, even 40-year-old liberals, like that woman who was like pointing at her neck.
Yeah.
There's one young guy, Gen Z, with his Halloween costume was a dead Charlie Kirk.
Yeah.
That's where I'm just like, I hear you on the premiums and medical and all those things and SNAP benefits, but I really don't think that if you're 45 and under, you care about this in the majority, or what I'd say, the majority cares about it. So, I would estimate that there's many people who are in their 40s. Younger 40s, older millennials, who are concerned about the cost of medical because they have kids. However, millennials largely didn't have kids. So they don't care. The issue of medical costs are largely for the older generation. And as you get to the younger generation, you're less and less likely to find someone who has a family or even believes they would get medical care in the first place.
Well, and on top of that, right, part of what Obamacare does is because it limits the amount that you can increase premiums based on age, is it redistributes money away from those younger people to older people. So they actually benefit financially from those measures being withdrawn.
Young people are ready for this whole thing to go belly up.
Yeah.
Right? Telling young people to pay taxes to boomers for Social Security, and they're going to be like, revolution when? And, like, they literally are.
Yeah. Well, and yeah, the fact that like social media now drives information, the polemics are driven by young people, and most young people have given up on institutions across the board. And so it's like really tough to really, drive up a lot of interest in a government shutdown when a lot of people have just tapped out anyway, or they just don't think that this is an institution they can put faith or trust in whatsoever.
Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.